I guess it's good to have different types of people in the world. We need the crazy adventurers, and we need the people that like to stay at home. Anyone can jump off a cliff once, but to be able to do it over and over again, that's where it becomes more challenging. My ultimate goal in my sport is to not die. My name is Ellen Brennan. I'm 28 years old. I am an American living in Chamonix, France, and I like to jump off cliffs. Wingsuit base jumping is very weather dependent, and the best time to jump is when it's calm, and that tends to be very early in the morning or very late in the evening. Not very many people know what wingsuit base jumping is. A lot of the times when I'm hiking in the mountains, people see me with a big backpack, they assume I'm going paragliding, and I say, no, I'm going wingsuit base jumping, and they don't understand the idea. It's like a completely foreign concept that just shouldn't be possible. You have to really be in tune with yourself before you jump off of a cliff. The way you're feeling is going to affect the way you fly as soon as you jump off of the mountain. That's the first part of the mindset. The second part of the mindset is knowing your limits. You need to know what you can do, what you can't do, and when you can do it and when you can't do it. So I need to be able to understand what it is going on in me, because that is really going to change the outcome of my flight. The moment that you have your toes on the edge of that cliff is one of the purest moments of life. Nothing else matters except for you and that cliff at that moment. Everything else disappears. You're looking straight down and you see just the cliff and what's in front of you. And you take a deep breath. I count down. And I go 3, 2, 1, see ya. And at that moment of see ya, that's the release. That is the moment that I have put everything I've got into this, and I have pushed off this cliff, and now I am relying on myself to get flying, to go down this mountain, and it's so empowering to know that I am in charge, and nothing else matters right now. I've learned from base jumping that anything in life is possible. There's no reason why something isn't achievable. I'm already flying down a mountain in a wingsuit. That's something pretty extraordinary that shouldn't be possible. So if that can happen, then everything else in life shouldn't be that hard. A wingsuit, it looks a lot like a flying squirrel suit. So I basically have a suit that goes from my toes up to my neck and out to my fingertips. So I have a huge surface area. So this suit is built to fit me inside of it and turn me basically into a flying machine. You have an initial 100 meters where we're falling, and then we start flying. Then we're able to fly down the mountain and take whichever line we want to, so kind of like skiing. This is the air inlet on the tail wing, and I also have them on the arm wing. So when this inflates, this whole wing fills up and it becomes very rigid, similar to a paraglider. So now I have like a thick wing that I'm actually flying inside. I'm able to steer this with these sticks. So these are kind of like an airplane flap. When I want to turn, I can either turn like this. I can also put the brake on by digging my arm down. And if I wanted to drop faster, I could put my hand back. And then this creates the arm wing to become much smaller. The mountains in France are a lot younger than the mountains in the US. And thanks to this, they're a lot more vertical, and they're a lot more 3D, and there's many more dimensions to play with in these mountains. And nobody holds you back here, which is incredible, which is one of the main reasons why I moved here. Ideal weather is a day like today. No clouds is ideal because we really need visibility. And also, we really need low wind, because if it's windy, it's going to be bumpy and turbulent, and that can become unsafe when we're flying. So basically, like, tomorrow is the day. Hey, Dad? I love my dad. He's the guy who's inspired me to live the life I'm living now. And I'm really happy to have him in France right now, because he's never seen this place before. See, it's super windy over here. I know that he's just like me and that he thrives on the mountains. And for him to come here and see this place, I just see his eyes light up like he's a little child again. If I look out my window and see this mountain, and to take him up here, like I've known for the last 3 or 4 years that this is something he would really enjoy, and I'm so happy that he's here and the weather's good and he gets to see it in all its glory, because it would be a shame for him not to be able to be here right now.
It is wonderful.
My dad started paragliding, and he introduced me to this idea of a whole new life that we can have above the ground, which I never thought was possible. I didn't even think about the idea of actually flying in real life until he showed me this. I don't think he realized what he created. Living in a small mountain town is pretty cool, because you're always running into people you know. Everyone that lives here has moved here because they love the mountains. I know many people who've quit very good jobs to come here to work seasonal jobs just so they can be in the mountain, taking massive pay cuts, but it doesn't matter, because you're where you are, you're where you need to be, you're where you're happy. We're heading up to a jump called Belvedere, which is the first cliff I've ever jumped in France. And it's just about a 30-minute drive from where I live right now. The cliff is fairly sheer, so I think if you throw a rock off of it, it would take about 8 seconds before it would touch the ground. A lot of the times when we're assessing different cliffs, we'll throw rocks off of it and we'll count. Usually if it's 6 seconds or higher, it's jumpable. This is the moment where I realized that being outdoors and hiking in the mountains and going to places that not many people go to is incredibly exciting. For me personally, the base jump is a lot more special if I have to hike to get to it. You know, you have to work for it, and then somehow the actual act of hiking up the mountain and then flying down gives you such a bigger chemical release when you land than just purely, you know, taking a lift to the top and jumping down. It's not the same sensation. Put on my mat, the goggles. Trying to find a new cliff to jump off of and seeing if it's jumpable and going there and looking over the edge and thinking, I can do this. We're throwing some sticks off the edge so we can see what the wind is doing, because it's quite windy here, which could either be helpful or harmful. So when we throw a stick, if it moves left or right, that'll give us an idea of how we're going to be pushed when we exit. And the best thing that could happen is if we throw a stick and it actually comes up, which is what's happening. So that means we're going to have a nice lift. So we should have really good starts. However, like when we throw sticks further out, it looks like we're getting pushed from the right to the left. So it'll probably be a bit bumpy. It looks jumpable, but it's not the most ideal. I recognize the reality that I can die doing this. And I ask myself every day that I'm jumping, is this worth it right now? Is this jump I'm going to do right now worth dying for? If you're not afraid when you're standing on the edge of the cliff, something's wrong. Looks sweet. Yeah. I'm always afraid, but the whole point of doing this is to learn how to control your fear and to overcome it. All right. 3, 2, 1, see ya. It's good to be afraid, because if you're not afraid, you're not paying attention. This is a scary sport. You need to be on your game, and fear is what helps you do that. I am relying on my skills and my instinct and everything I've learned over the last nearly 10 years to fly me through this line and get out safely. And then you get to the bottom of the line and you lift up, and now you're flying out to go find your landing area. And this is the time that I start to become more stressed, because I'm not 100% positive that my parachute's going to open perfectly. I pack my parachute the best I can. I open in the best body position possible, but there's always that wild card that could happen. And you always have to be ready for that. It's hard to explain why I do this, because most people I'm trying to explain this to would never understand. It's made my whole world light up, actually. Every little part of my day is so much brighter because I'm able to see it in a new light. I'm able to really appreciate all the fine details of everything. I'm able to appreciate the mountains, the people I'm with, how the world works. You know, every little moment I really appreciate, because I realize that life is quite fragile, and if you're not taking full advantage of this life that we have, then you're wasting it, and you only get one shot. And I want to do everything I can with my life I have.
Come here.